a blind piano player, wrestler, long-distance runner, and a creative spirit whose talents have taken her to the stage and into galleries and exhibitions across the U.S., are here to tell their story of their unique and incredible journey together. Welcome to the Nancy and Mike Show. Nancy and Mike will engage you with some of the most unimaginable and heartwarming stories of their extraordinary life. So please welcome your hosts, Nancy and Mike.
Hi, my name is Mike Zorek.
And this is Nancy Noble.
We are coming to you live, broadcasting from YouTube in Florida. I hope you all had a wonderful 4th of July last week.
Yeah,
And
150 years. That's pretty special.
yes, and I really believed that something bad was going to happen at the White House last Saturday, which it did not,
Thank you, guys.
much to my surprise. I thought the Nazis were going to be up to something. But anyway,
Yeah.
everything ran smoothly as far as I know.
Yeah.
And I would tell you, our first show on this radio YouTube thing was July 26th of last year.
Boy, I didn't remember that. July 26th.
July 26th, we had one show in July, and we went every week. And July 4th was the first time we had off. This is show number 50. So when July 25 comes, it'll be 53 weeks,
With only one off.
but only one off,
That's
July 4th.
amazing.
So I don't know how many people remember that,
We're dependable, right?
but we're dependable,
Yeah.
and my memory is not playing tricks on me. So I knew that we had one day off, and that if Christmas or New Year's had been on a Saturday, we would have had time off. And I think this year, Christmas and New Year's do fall on Saturdays.
Oh, so we'll probably get those up.
So anyway, I don't like having time off because
No,
you know
crumbled you up. I can tell.
yeah. Anyway, this is show number 50.
Woo.
It's July 11th,
Yes.
and it's God inspired.
Yes. Thank you.
And one of the things that I'm going to talk about next week is baseball. And you know, on June 13th of this year, I talked about what is the definition of Nazism. Not by way people say it is, but what it actually is. Because I know this stuff.
Right.
And I talked about it. Who are the Nazis? What do they represent? And I talked about that.
Right.
Well, why am I going to talk about the baseball situation? Well, I'll tell you why. There's no baseball next week. And the deal is, I want to talk about what should the owners do? They're at the end of the collective bargaining agreement. What should the owners do? What should the union be doing?
To help baseball survive.
What could help baseball to be better than it ever was? And I'm going to give you some examples next week, but that's next week.
Okay.
That's not today. Now, today is July 11th, like I mentioned, and something I think was stupid happened. You remember I talked about on our last show Lee Hacksaw Hamilton.
Yes, and how you first met
How
him.
I first got involved
well,
with
heard him
him.
on the radio, I should say.
And this guy is a sports genius. Well, he made a mistake. He
Yeah.
made a serious mistake.
Well, maybe his wife wanted him to take a
And
vacation.
the mistake was he took a vacation this past week. Now, why was it a serious mistake?
You were counting on him for a lot of different things.
Well, you got basketball free agency, you got hockey free agency, you got trades in the NBA, you got trades in the NHL,
And rumors of trades.
rumors of trades. He should have been working.
Yeah.
Now, why? Because next week there's nothing. Next week would have been the time to take the week off.
Right.
But anyway, nobody's perfect. We all make mistakes.
We all do.
This happened to be one of his. And I was quite upset about it when I found out about it because last week is a week that he should have been on the job giving out information. But anyway,
Yep.
that's neither here nor there. Now, what happened last week? I'm going to talk about our last week. Last week on Monday, we had an appointment with the chiropractor, and that always goes well.
We like him.
We like him. But the day I was concerned about was the following day, Tuesday the 7th. Well, one of the things that happened that day, on the 4th, when we watched The Music Man, we overslept in our nap and we missed maybe the first 15 minutes of it. But they played it again. So this time we watched the whole thing. They don't play it very often, but we watched it, and I guess somehow it has a connection with July 4th.
Yeah, it does.
And I kind of like it. I'm not a big movie guy, but
This has a lot of good music.
this has some good music in it, and the guy is kind of a schemer, and
Then
but
he gets wisdom at the end.
he gets better at the end, and it has a good ending.
Yeah.
So, but what I'm getting to is this: the first Tuesday of every month, we have a lunch
With seniors at our
with
church.
seniors at our church. Now, I'll tell you one thing that's wrong with that. It's way too early.
It's supposed to be lunch. Why is it at 10
It's
o'clock?
supposed to be lunch, but it's at 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
We used to go to the shopping center. I didn't want to go because for me, it was too far to go. And there wasn't much in the way of food at this shopping mall. There was a Chick-fil-A, and there was one other place where you could get a piece of pizza, but not much in the way of the shopping center.
Right.
I don't like going to the shopping center. Nancy does. I don't. So when they had it at the shopping center, I never went.
I went once.
And it started at 12 o'clock. That's when we should be talking about lunch. And, but they then had it at 12 o'clock. Now it's at 10 o'clock. But anyway, on the 7th, we didn't sign up to go to the lunch. The lunch, in my opinion, was too early. It was at a good restaurant and not too far away. But I knew something, in my opinion, something shady was coming. And I was correct. But I will tell you this, I happened to get the last laugh. Tuesday, the 7th, was blood work. Now, they have been calling me. They want to know what my blood pressure was. I don't want to be bothered with this crap, to be blunt. I don't want to be bothered with it. When I was a teenager, my blood pressure was too high. And the doctors told me that I'm going to get a stroke. This is more than 60 years ago, okay? I'm going to get a stroke. I'm going to get a heart attack. And I'm going to get what was at that time known as athlete's heart. What athlete's heart was, it was from doing too much exercise. You get an enlarged heart by overworking yourself exercise wise. And my lifetime ambition when I was in high school was to be the best blind wrestler in the history of the world. And I think about it all the time, especially when I had a boring class that I didn't want to pay attention. So I thought about who I was going to have to pin in order to get this title as the best blind wrestler that ever lived. I thought about it all the time. And I
You worked hard.
worked for it. I was working out 4 hours a day, sometimes 6 hours a day. And the doctors were concerned about my intense workouts. I'm leading you to where this is going. That's why I'm telling you this. I'm not telling you this to brag about how good I was.
No, I know.
I'm telling you this to lead you in the direction that this ended up going. And they've been telling me this for 60 years, more than 60 years, and I'm still fine. Now, I knew something shady was coming. And I always go first.
Yeah. We go at the same time, and I always make my go first.
I go first because I'm the easiest. They don't have any trouble finding my veins.
And they have big trouble with me.
And my deal was I did a lot of weightlifting when I was growing up,
They
and
can
my
see
veins,
where your veins
they
are,
could
no
see
problem.
where my veins are, no problem. But I keep thinking something shady's coming. And what happens when something shady shows up? Nancy and I are different. They do whatever they do to me, and they don't do it to her. Now, at first it was, they had me take a urinalysis test. Not Nancy, only me. Why, you ask? Because they thought I might have diabetes. So, I knew something shady was coming because this is the way our medical profession works. You can't argue with this. This is infallible. So my blood thing comes first. And they said, okay, we got to take your blood pressure. That's the first time I ever had blood work done where they took my blood pressure. And my blood pressure has been averaging around 150 over 90 consistently. And I was nervous because I was concerned about how Nancy was going to do. And I was definitely nervous. So they figured they're going to get me when I'm nervous. And I think we're going to a break.
Yeah. So we're going to see what his blood pressure was. Just stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Mike Zorich, a 3-time California state champion in Greco-Roman wrestling at 114 pounds. Mike, blind since birth, was born in Hartford, Connecticut. He was a 6-time national placer, including 2 seconds, 2 thirds, and 2 fourths. He also won the Veterans Folk Style Wrestling twice at 152 pounds. In all these tournaments, he was the only blind competitor. Nancy Zorick, a creative spirit whose talents have taken her to the stage and into galleries and exhibitions in several states. Her father, a commercial artist who shared his instruments with his daughter and helped her fine-tune her natural abilities, influenced her decision to follow in his footsteps. Ms. Zorick has enjoyed a fruitful career doing what she loves. Listen Saturday mornings at 12 Eastern for the Nancy and Mike Show for heartwarming stories and interesting talk.
Are you struggling to care for elderly parents or a spouse? Do you wonder if being a caregiver is making you sick? Are you worried about taking time off work to care for elderly parents and balance work, life, and caregiving? Has caregiving become exhausting and emotionally draining? Are you an aging adult who wants to remain independent, but you're not sure how? I'm Pamela D. Wilson. Join me for the Caring Generation radio show for caregivers and aging adults, Wednesday evenings, 6 Pacific, 7 Mountain, 8 Central, and 9 Eastern, where I answer these questions and share tips for managing stress, family relationships, health, well-being, and more. Podcasts and transcripts of the Caring Generation are on my website, PamelaDWilson.com, plus my caregiving library, online caregiver support programs, and programs for corporations interested in supporting working caregivers. Help, hope, and support for caregivers is here on the Caring Generation and PamelaDWilson.com.
Hi, my name is Mike Zorick.
And this is Nancy Noble.
We are coming to you live, broadcasting from YouTube in Florida. And if I didn't say God inspired,
Yep.
it is God inspired.
Yep.
And it's show number 50. Now, when we left you,
Yep. They're going to take your blood pressure.
they're going to take my blood pressure. And right away, I'm thinking these people have malicious intent. Because they're going to take my blood pressure, but they're not going to take Nancy's. And I was just as nervous as she was.
Yep.
And I tell you the truth, I had no clue what was to come next.
Yep.
And they kept the thing around my arm tight for what I thought was longer than usual. Now, maybe I had some anxiety, I don't know. But then it finally loosened, and they said 122/86.
Woo!
That's good.
That's good.
Now, I can't explain to you how that happened.
It had to be God inspired because that's not normal.
That's not anywhere close to normal. But what I am, even when I was a teenager, I was much higher than that. And I'll tell you what my thinking was.
Yeah, what was it? What'd you
Because
think?
here's what I'm thinking.
Huh?
I'll tell you how my mind works.
I'm interested. What?
I thought, I wonder if they're going to test Nancy. And I knew they wouldn't, okay?
Mm-mm.
Because they're after me.
Right, I know that. So?
So, in the final analysis, it took about 20 minutes for Nancy to be tested.
Yeah, one girl tried, she couldn't do it. Then they had to find somebody else. And then they couldn't get into my arm. My blood just wouldn't come out. So they had to go in my wrist on this side by my thumb over there. And that really hurt.
And
she said, your blood just doesn't want to come out. And I said, well, I think my blood likes to stay where it's at.
yeah, I think so too. But anyway, they didn't test her blood pressure.
Nope.
I think her blood pressure would have been higher than mine.
I'm scared. I hate that.
Well, yeah, we both hate that.
Yeah, it doesn't work good with me.
You can't eat or drink anything.
And I was up a lot to pee because they said drink extra, so I did.
They told her to drink extra water. I don't drink much water. I drink a lot of tea. I drink juices.
It was a fasting, so I drank 2 whole bottles of water. First when I got up and right before I left, and I drank at night, and still I had a problem.
So, uh, my thought process was, "Ha ha, I got you."
That's why I think it was God inspired.
They had no comeback to say, "Oh, wow, what are you taking for blood pressure medication? You're not taking the Stanton drugs we prescribed."
Yeah.
I'm not taking the Stanton drugs because on the side effects, you lose your memory. If I lose, what am I without my memory? I can't do my music. I can't even do the radio show. If I can't remember which end is up, how am I
No,
going to do this show? This show is 95% me.
I know. And your
So,
memory.
my memory.
Yep.
And it's like Nancy didn't remember that our first show was July 26th,
They didn't
but I
actually.
did.
Yeah.
I don't know if any of our listeners do, but I did. I remembered that we started on July 26th. I know we did 300. This is counting all the radio shows we've done. This is show number 374. Who else knows that?
Nobody.
Nobody. And I know what stations they were from and when they were. And
Yeah.
when we started Bold Brave Media, that was May 12th, 2018. I remembered that too.
Yep.
So, the point I'm making here is I don't want to do anything that's going to hurt my memory. I know I'm almost 80 years old, but I just don't want to do it.
Yep. Draw
And
lines. You're good at
we,
drawing lines.
I am good at drawing lines, and if I see that the doctor is misleading me, I'm not going to listen to him or her, whoever it may be. So, if there are any doctors out there who are thinking about treating me, listen to what I say, because if you don't, you're going to be disappointed. So, that's the deal with this. Now, the next topic is something that happened last week that I thought would happen.
What?
The Celtics. Now, if you could explain this to me, how smart this is, or how stupid it is, you're better than me, because to me, it's so stupid. Uh, everybody and his brother who follows the NBA knew the Celtics were going to trade Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown's one of the best players in the NBA. When Tatum was out, he carried the team.
Yes, he did.
And so I was kind of glad that the trade went the way it went. And everybody knew he was going to be traded. There was no suspense. But where do I want him to go? How about the 76ers?
That's your other favorite team.
That's one of my two favorite teams, Boston and Philadelphia. Well, next year, Philly is going to finish ahead of Boston in the standings. They got this great guy from Alabama, Philly does. And Philly has a problem with their front line. And so do the Celtics. Now, the Celtics might have solved their problem with the center issue when they picked up Charles Robinson from the New York Knicks. And I was hoping for that.
Oh.
The Knickerbockers could not pay Robinson
Oh, because of the salary cap.
because of the salary cap.
Okay.
And so they couldn't re-sign him. He was very valuable to them.
Mhm.
He
Yep.
was very good, but they couldn't re-sign him. and the Lakers were involved in it. The Celtics were involved. I was hoping he wouldn't go to the Lakers. And then, in the meantime, LeBron James decided he's going to dump on the Lakers. Where's he going?
Mm,
Well, with this Philly trade with Boston,
right. Okay.
I'll tell you what it's stupid about it.
What?
You got two teams in the same conference. Now, if I'm a general manager, one thing I don't do is trade with anybody in my conference because I don't want to help anybody in my conference.
No, because you got to play
I
each other.
want to win my conference. I don't want to help the teams in my conference because I might help them to beat me.
Yeah.
All right?
Duh.
It's not a wise thing to do. But anyway, they did it. And what Boston got in return, they got 4 draft picks, 2 number ones, 2 number twos, and they got Paul George, who is a power forward who gets hurt a lot. I don't know how much they're going to get out of Paul George. He's sort of like another guy that Philly has,
Embiid.
Embiid.
Yeah.
Now, he'll play for Boston, and Boston's front line will be better than it was. But how, in the final analysis, do you replace Jaylen Brown?
I know.
The answer is
You
don't. And one of the things that got Boston in it was actually, I'll tell you right now, it was a panic move. And why did Boston do it? I'll tell you why they did it.
Huh? What?
Because with Brown on the team, they got blown out in the first round of the playoffs. So they felt like if we can't win one playoff round, we got a long way to go in order to compete.
Hmm.
And
So that was the panic thing.
that was the panic thing. And I wasn't disappointed because next year Philly is going to beat the dickens out of Boston. And the problem is this. Philly is going to place much higher than Boston is. Philly's rumored to get LeBron James, by the way. He's rumored with Cleveland and Miami and a few other teams where LeBron James might end up.
Hmm.
I don't want him as a Boston fan. I kind of hope he goes back. If he goes back to Miami or Cleveland,
Yeah.
because that's where he won his championships, in Cleveland and Miami. And I think it'd be a good way for him to end his career. But anyway,
Yep.
we don't know the answer to that yet. And Lee Hamilton's not here to give me information. And I'm still upset about it.
I know.
I was upset about it all week. It was stupid timing on his part. And
Well,
he
we don't know his whole
he
story.
should have waited until next week when there's not much activity. 4 days. There's no baseball. Right? What you gonna report on?
Okay.
Anyhow, that's neither here nor there. But Nancy's gonna do her wonderful thing, and let's see,
It's 12:29.
Nancy has some good stuff today, like always.
Oh, well, good timing. We're going to take a break right now and we'll be right back and then I'll start my stuff.
Well, that's good timing.
Yeah, take care.
Author, radio show host, and coach John M. Hawkins reveals strategies to help gain perspective, build confidence, find clarity, achieve goals. John M. Hawkins' new book, Coached to Greatness: Unlock Your Full Potential with Limitless Growth, published by iUniverse. Hawkins reveals strategies to help readers accomplish more. He believes the book can coach them to greatness. Hawkins says that the best athletes get to the top of their sport with the help of coaches, mentors, and others. He shares guidance that helps readers reflect on what motivates them, rediscover and assess their core values, philosophies, and competencies, find settings that allow them to be the most productive, and track their progress towards accomplishing goals. What if there were a super tiny device that could diagnose the brain and is smaller than a single human hair? What if you could see inside the brain to help an epilepsy patient during surgery or to help the fight against Parkinson's disease? Dr. Patricia Broderick is proud to announce the Broderick Probe, a biomedical and electronic breakthrough. Imagine a probe to help with the understanding and potential cure of brain-related diseases. To learn more, listen live to the Easy Sense radio show with host Dr. Broderick. And to help support the Broderick Foundation, please go to EasySense.com and learn how, with your help, we can fight these horrific brain disorders. That's EasySense.com to learn more and help support the Broderick Foundation.
We are. Go ahead.
Hello. Hi. My name is Mike Zorek.
And this is Nancy Noble.
We are coming to you live, broadcasting from YouTube in Florida. This is a Nancy and Mike show. And I was talking about basketball before Nancy does her wonderful thing. But before she does her wonderful thing, there was one thing I almost forgot to mention. And my comment to that is shame on me.
What?
In 13 days is a national holiday that a lot of people don't know about, but we know about it. And it's 13 days, July 24th will be Nancy's birthday.
Yay.
And so we'll have to do our banking and our mail prior to that.
Yeah, before
But
they
that's
put no-
okay. It's a 3-day weekend. It's a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
And this is a big one. I'm going to be 80. Woo, woo.
So before Nancy does her thing, I didn't want that to get away. I might mention it next week. My birthday is long gone. My birthday was April 3rd.
So right now we are both 79.
And I will be 80 and
April 3rd next year.
253 days because
Funny.
she's 253 days older than me. So
Thank you.
actually, it's not. It's 266 days
Well, let's get it right.
because today is not her birthday.
Right.
But when her birthday comes, it'll be 253 before my next birthday. My next birthday will be on a Saturday in 2027. So anyway, Nancy's going to do her wonderful thing, and we will continue to count down till the big national holiday comes.
Well, I'm getting this from Quiet Time Book, which I love, and it has so much good stuff in it. So this is from 1 Peter 3:3. Okay. Your beauty should be that of your inner self, the unfading beauty of a gentle and quiet spirit, which is of great worth in God's sight.
Amen.
And the Greek word for quiet really means tranquility, which comes from within and causes no disturbance to other people. And a wife's inner peace, strength, confidence, and tranquility comes from relying and depending on God. I love that. And from another book we are just reading today, it was build your dreams together. So this is Ecclesiastes 4:9. Two are better than one because they have a good return for their labor. And it says, some dreams aren't meant to be built alone. God often sends people whose strengths complement yours. When you invite others into God, to what God's growing in you, dreams become greater, stronger, and more rooted. And we are happy to be partners and that we share the load and we build something beautiful together in God's guidance. And also, I have a feeling about humility. Humility is not thinking less of yourself, but thinking of yourself less. I love that. And we need to choose to be humble and to humble ourselves before our great and holy God and asking and then receiving his abundant grace. And I really appreciate that because I had a funny thing. One time I have a she moved away, but really nice girl that went to church with us and she showed me where that shopping center was. So anyway, I told her what the mailman told me. I said, I'm still getting birthday cards. This was a couple years ago. I don't know. And I'm still getting birthday cards a week after my birthday. And he said, well, I can tell you're the most popular girl in Ocala. And so I told this to my friend at church, and she said, watch out for pride. And amen to that. We in society, I was telling Mike today that pride is like a thing to be happy with, but no, not in God's world. We give our humble self to God and watch out for pride. Pride is not good. What are those 5 things? We got insight from God. Let's see. We have to communicate better, put God first, simplify, communicate better, and watch out for pride. Remember those 5
I do
things?
remember
Yeah.
those.
And that helped us bring us together and work together. And that's what we kind of do. Mike has his great memory. I have my good seeing things around, being aware.
Nancy's very observant.
Yes. When I was a kid, I'd find money on the sidewalks. I'd find things because I'm looking around. I'm an artist. And that's what made me not afraid to talk to blind people because my mom said, oh, don't look at those people that have something wrong with them. But hey, I could look at blind people. Why not? They're not going to get hurt feelings. So I'm done. That's it.
Well, something interesting happened while you were talking. And I know you could relate to it, so I'm going to tell you what it was.
Cool.
When you're talking about all this stuff about being humble
Yes.
to God, and I'm hearing in my head, humble thyself to the sight of God. So, in other words, there's a church song.
Yeah. Humble yourself in the sight of the God, and he will lift you up.
That's the song.
Yeah, I love that song.
And while you were talking, that song was playing in my head, and so I knew where you were going. But you talk about pride, and what pride has become. It's become a fad day, and
That shows you're
hey,
going in the right
that shows you
direction.
that shows you what a sin it is, and
And they
if
know it.
and no, they don't even know it. And if you look at, I can't remember what chapter it's in, but it's in the Leviticus where it talks about if you have sex with anything or anybody except your husband or wife,
It's
it's a sin. There's no, I mean,
they say, well, it's nothing. Yeah, it is.
yeah, there is.
Yeah.
because I remember reading it. I remember Nancy reading it that it is, and it says clear as day, it's a sin.
Yep.
If you're not married and you're having sex, it's a sin. Period. End of discussion. So that's where we're at with this.
Yeah.
And Nancy did a wonderful job. I think so. I always think so.
You always say that. Thank you. Yeah, we're working together. That's one thing said.
And here's
And
one
we
of
complement
one
each
of the
other.
things we do, and we pray every day that we go together, whatever the
Yes.
case.
Yep.
And we complement each other because in many cases, Nancy's strengths are my weaknesses, or my strengths are part of Nancy's
You got it.
weaknesses. And
It's pretty obvious.
we need each other
Mhm.
to
Balance.
out our own weaknesses. And fortunately, the only one weakness we have, both of us, is neither one of us has a sense of direction.
Nope.
Uh,
I'm
so,
in Chicago.
yeah, you were good in Chicago, and I'm sure you'd still be good in Chicago.
Yeah, I know where the lake is. It's east.
But I remember when we were in Hawaii,
Oh,
I don't know how
tuh.
you found the place we were staying.
It was God inspired because it was dark. In the middle of the morning, the race took off like what 5 in the morning. It was raining.
Yeah, it was raining,
There's nobody on the street I could ask, and everything's closed.
and not only that, you don't even know what you're asking because nothing is readable. It's
Yeah,
got a
Luca,
a word may have 6 vowels and 2 consonants, and who the heck knows how to even pronounce these things?
and we weren't staying at a hotel. We were staying at someone's apartment, and I don't remember the name of the street.
So,
Even if I found anyone, which I didn't,
no, you're not going to find anybody out at 5 o'clock in the morning
in the rain.
looking to give you directions for some place. Forget about that option.
Yeah.
Even God's not going to help you with that.
Well, God did.
But anyway,
Our God did help.
you found a place and you found your way back to the race, which that particular race I didn't finish. It was a marathon, and
After the rain, he hurt his leg.
I
He
slipped in a puddle,
Yeah.
and it was on the little before the 13th mile, so I still had like 14 miles to go in the race,
Yeah.
and I started limping. And Carl said, you still got more than 13 miles to go.
Yeah.
And it wasn't hurting me that seriously, but it was hurting me every time I took a step, my left foot.
No.
And so Carl talked me into quitting. I guess I made it through the 14th mile. And I was really down in the dumps. That was I had a better time than I had the previous year going.
Yeah, I was waiting at some mile mark, and you came in faster than I thought.
Yeah. And it would have definitely been a personal record. Not that it would have been anything to brag about.
No,
My mistake was I ran my first marathon at the age of 59.
yeah,
I don't recommend anybody do that.
right.
But it came about where I went to the Nationals in Las Vegas, and it was horrible. That ended up I didn't eat for 5 days, and I got there, they wouldn't let me wrestle.
I know they didn't give him good
They
content.
wouldn't give me contact.
Oh, we're going to a break. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
What if there were a super tiny device that could diagnose the brain and is smaller than a single human hair? What if you could see inside the brain to help an epilepsy patient during surgery or to help the fight against Parkinson's disease? Dr. Patricia Broderick is proud to announce the Broderick Probe, a biomedical and electronic breakthrough. Imagine a probe to help with the understanding and potential cure of brain-related diseases. To learn more, listen live to the Easy Sense radio show with host Dr. Broderick. And to help support the Broderick Foundation, please go to EasySense.com and learn how, with your help, we can fight these horrific brain disorders. That's EasySense.com to learn more and help support the Broderick Foundation. Mike Zorek, a three-time California state champion in Greco-Roman wrestling at 114 pounds. Mike, blind since birth, was born in Hartford, Connecticut. He was a six-time national placer, including 2 seconds, 2/3, and 2/4. He also won the Veterans Folk-Style Wrestling twice at 152 pounds. In all these tournaments, he was the only blind competitor. Nancy Zorek, a creative spirit whose talents have taken her to the stage and into galleries and exhibitions in several states. Her father, a commercial artist who shared his instruments with his daughter and helped her fine-tune her natural abilities, influenced her decision to follow in his footsteps. Ms. Zorek has enjoyed a fruitful career doing what she loves. Listen Saturday mornings at 12 Eastern for the Nancy and Mike Show for heartwarming stories and interesting talk.
Hi, my name is Mike Zorek.
And this is Nancy Noble.
We are coming to you live broadcasting from YouTube in Florida. And when we left, I was talking about Las Vegas.
Yeah, and they didn't give you the right
They
contact.
didn't give me contact.
But we
So,
started a petition. Remember, I went around. I had a lot of wrestlers sign it.
yeah. And the outcome of it was they'll give me contact, but they won't do it for any other blind wrestler.
They won't make it a regular rule for blind people.
So,
Just give it to Mike. But what's the good of that?
what they were doing was trying to exclude blind wrestlers.
Yeah.
That was the sole intent of it.
Yes.
And so anyway, the reason why I'm going there,
Hmm?
because after that tournament was over, and I didn't get to wrestle, and I had 5 days straight. I had one piece of blueberry pie for my birthday
Yeah.
and nothing else for 5 days.
Oh.
And
You had tea. Hot
I had some tea and but I was hungry and I just barely made weight.
Ugh,
I could not lose weight.
I know.
And so anyway, it turned out I made weight for nothing. And then when I got back from Las Vegas, and Carl called me and he said, I want to be your partner. I want you to pick a marathon 'cause you never run a marathon. And where would this marathon be? The location and everything. So of course, I picked Hawaii.
Yeah.
I
Good
picked
weather.
Hawaii because Hawaii has the best weather.
Yeah, and it's in December.
It's in December, so I wouldn't run anywhere else in December. So anyway, I was 59 years old, and I will tell you this: if I had to do it all over again, I wouldn't do it again. That's too late to run your first marathon.
Yeah.
And I suffered through it.
You sure did.
I suffered through. I tried to do 3 marathons. I did 2 of them.
And then the last one was that one in the rain.
The middle one was the one in the rain.
Oh, yeah.
So I had one after that.
Good.
And
That was good. You did one after the rainy one.
my time in the after the rain was worse than my first one. So
Yeah.
I was a half hour slower.
Puh,
Took me like 7 hours and something.
and you weren't good afterwards. You
and no,
wanted me to get a cab.
I wasn't. Well, we had to walk 3 miles to get to the race. So you're not going 26 miles, you're going 32 miles.
No.
And I wasn't up to the task,
Nope.
to be put it mildly. And uh, it was a good time for me to quit. And the next year, I was kind of disappointed I didn't get to go to Hawaii. But Carl was going through a knee replacement, and
Yeah, and he's older than Mike.
yeah, he's older than me. But anyway, that was the deal with that, and I wanted to throw that in because with the Vegas thing, because they were in the same time period. But now the wrestling thing, I wrestled a couple more years after that. And then I got too old. It turned 60 years old. They won't let you wrestle anymore. And it was horrible trying to make weight for all this stuff. And
And that's what he named his book. Mike wrote his autobiography. The name of it is Making Weight. So you could look for it on the computer somehow. I don't know.
so, anyway, that's where we're at with that. And um, that's the deal with it. Now, what else is going on?
Oh,
Baseball. What's happening in baseball? Something that I never dreamed would happen. Now, remember, for several weeks, I said that the toughest schedule in the major leagues was for Boston.
yeah.
And I didn't know to what extent I was correct. But they're on a 7-game winning streak now. They beat the Angels 3 straight. They beat the White Sox 3 straight. All these on the road. They beat the Mets last night. They're 45 and 49. I hope they still think they're in the playoffs.
Then they won't dump players.
They won't dump Sonny Gray.
Yeah,
If
he's
they
a good pitcher.
if they do dump Sonny Gray, he's the best pitcher they got. I hope he goes to the Dodgers.
No, Mike, come on.
And
Really don't.
in the first place, the Dodgers could use a closer, so they could give him Sonny Gray and Chapman for nothing.
Well, what about Philadelphia? They need a closer.
They need a closer. Or at least they need a setup man. And Philadelphia could use a starter. But anyway, we'll find out on August 3rd all about that stuff, the trades, and that's the baseball deadline.
Oh, August 3rd. Okay.
August 3rd, which is a Monday. And it's 3 weeks from this Monday. And next week, there's no baseball until Friday.
Okay.
So, and I'm of the opinion that all All-Star games in all sports should be abolished. What if you're a great player and you get hurt in an All-Star game and it destroys your whole season? What
But
are
I
you?
think it's fun for the baseball players to play the games with each other and have fun. I thought that was kind of nice.
Well, it used to be that way. But since the All-Star game has become nothing but a popularity contest, I don't think that's the case. But anyway, I think we've reached the end of the line.
Hey guys, that's the end. And take care. Talk to you next week. Take care. Bye bye.
This has been the Nancy and Mike Show. Tune in each week and become part of the conversation of the amazing journey of Nancy and Mike.